What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Soapbox, presented to you by the Savage Land. And thank you to all the people that's been rocking with me this whole time, checking it out on the Soapbox. And you all guys know, and anybody who is new, Soapbox is pretty much my commentary show, just a weekly show where I talk about things I watched on social media, Facebook, YouTube. And that's pretty much all I watch. I don't have Instagram or anything like that. So I just pretty much go over what I watch in the community. Hot topics, rants, where I have a hot topic or rant I want to go on. And then pretty much a little bit of toy news. So it's a split splash of everything. Pretty much what I've seen this week. And this is coming from Facebook. G.I. Joe Elite. Once again, guy named Ferry the Workaholic did a really good picture, custom of an ice bat or snow bat. This snow bat looks good. It has a lot of detail with it. It's going to be quite different from the one Hasbro brings out, and that's pretty much going to be, I wouldn't necessarily say plain, but it wouldn't have this much detail in it. And this snow bat looks like NECA. This would a rendition of a snow bat if NECA would have done one. And it looks good. And the crazy part about it is I had him on a couple of weeks ago, one of his pictures on, and I was just scrolling through on my Facebook page, and I was like, oh, that's nice. I'm going to ask this guy, can I put his picture up? And lo and behold, it's Ferry the Workaholic. So Ferry the Workaholic, you did a good job again on your rendition of the snow bat. It looks real good. It has a lot of definition with it, man, and keep them coming, man. Next up, I have something I pulled from another Facebook group. It's G.I. Joe Uncensored, and a guy named Dave Wood. And he has this picture of all his G.I. Joe classified in a bookcase. There's nothing special about this picture. Well, it is special, but just far as like dynamic wise, that's the way my G.I. Joe collection would look if it was out of boxes, my minimum card collection. And whenever I want to envision what it will look like, I'm gonna just pull this picture up and take a look and like, yep, that's my shelf there, even though it's not my shelf. And I don't know, I just had to take this picture and just show it to everybody. But that is what my G.I. Joe classified shelf will look like. I have every one of them in multiple copies, and it would fill up a couple of bookshelves. But that's cool, man. Hopefully, Dave, man, hopefully I can get my G.I. Joe classified collection like that. So Dave Wood from G.I. Joe Uncensored, appreciate the picture, bro. Appreciate you letting me use it, man, and I envy you. Also, I watched this week, which is a pretty cool thing. I watched this guy named Nacho Average Finds, like nacho chips, but it's really standing for Nacho Average Finds. And it's actually a shoe channel, but he does shoe history. And what I did not know was Jerry Seinfeld is actually a sneakerhead, which is dope. And he pretty much went down not all the shoes, but he went down about 10 or 12 shoes, and I'll just name the ones that caught my eye that Jerry Seinfeld wear. Now, if this was the 90s, I wouldn't be able to notice that he was wearing these shoes because he doesn't wear a lot of loud colors. Basically, Jerry Seinfeld was getting his grown man on back then, which he was. He was probably in his early 30s then, and he was dressing like a early 30s guy in his early 30s and the early 90s. His shoes don't have a lot of colors to it. Very subtle, white, little accents here and there. But Jerry Seinfeld on that show, and he would have on like a suit, but I always thought as a kid looking, he might have some moccasins on, some wingtips, some dress shoes or something. Nah, he's sitting up there with Nike Huaraches on. You know what I'm saying? He wearing like drug dealer shoes. He's wearing Jordan 6 Sport Blues. All right. He's wearing Nike Moabs, but that's like a hiking shoe, but I love ACG. I love ACG Nike Moabs. He's wearing Great 5, them drug dealer shoes. Those actually made famous by the Fresh Prince, Will Smith, wearing them purple Great 5, number 5 Jordans. And then also, now this is what put Jerry Seinfeld in the category, okay, he a G. He was wearing Nike Trainer SCs, Bo Jacksons, okay? Jerry Seinfeld, you get a salute for me on that, man. And you doing it fly too. You had your grown man on, you wearing it like wouldn't even nobody notice. It looked like, yo, those pair of Bo Jacksons you got on? And he would be like, yeah. Yeah. Next up, what I watched earlier this week was Nerdzoic, which is a really good channel, very interesting. Edits well, everything. Looks like a show. Only thing he's missing is a deal, really. And he had an interesting topic on his show, waiting on clearance, playing clearance roulette, basically. And I'm big on clearance. I know a lot of other people are too. Who wouldn't be? And that's been the concept of action figure collecting lately, is waiting on clearance, waiting on something to go down. But his video was about playing clearance roulette where you wait on something and it just don't coming back in stock, or it never goes down and you missed out trying to wait on a clearance. And he was basically saying the tides are changing now for that, and it makes sense. I totally agree with him. He said it's basically like almost trying to make a battleship or a huge ship liner turn. You can't just turn on a dime. Companies will start to alter the way they put out figures beforehand to curve that curvature, I guess, that's coming at them with us waiting on clearance. So probably right now they're seeing that, and for the next batch coming around next year of things, they're probably going to cut their production levels down. So playing roulette clearance with some figures will be dangerous. And I totally agree with him on that. What I will say, I'm always looking for a clearance. There's always will be a clearance out there. And if you really want something, just go after it. But he is right. And it is a good thing to take a look at. So we're playing a game with them. They're playing a game also too. And it's just human nature. Next up, I watch Lyle's Figure Files, which is LMF Files. And a guy who pretty much has a commentary show, talking about action figure hot topics in general. Pretty good show. He has a very cool, calm, collective voice. He's easy to listen to, and the narrative of his whole show is great. But I watch him from time to time, and he had a thing on will the Nitro set fund. And later on my hot topic rant, I'll piggyback on something like this because I got a complex hot topic. But basically, the WCW Nitro, which is WWE Elites, have a crowdfunder, which the set is $400. It's quite a stretch, but one thing I do think about when I say it's a set. Now, the Engine of Vengeance was $350, and I don't care about the Engine of Vengeance really. I'm just trying to put a comparison up. Was $350. With that, you could possibly sit 4 figures in this car and interact with it. Not 4, 1, and interact with it and play. The difference between this thing is for $50 more, you're looking at $400. You have a set where 15 to 20 figures can be sprawled across it. So even though the price is up there, it's a little bit more playability to go along with this set. Now, I'm not here to tell you yes or no to get it, but I will say this. It does cover quite a bit of real estate for $400. It's probably will take up this whole little 4-foot table that I got here. So it's actually a set. It's not just like a car. It's actually a world you can build around this set. And they plan on bookending it with the WWF Raw's War set next year. So it's definitely something you could have those 2 massive stages put together to make this whole world. So I do think it's warranted. Is it for me? If I had a lot less figures and a lot more real estate, I would probably give it a go because it really looks nice. And it's not really high up on my list. I do have a lot of wrestling figures on that pallet over there. I just thought about the other day. I'm gonna save all the wrestling figures for last and open them up last. So probably about 60 of them over there, and plus with all the rest of them I got. But in my collection, it's not such a high warranted need, and that's where a complexity of crowd funds come. Do I need this, or do I don't need this? And also, it's another complex thing is I want that Papa Punk, but will I pay for that set and try to sell it just to get that Papa Punk? I'm not doing it. So crowd funds, HasLabs, things like that. It's a lot of complexity to this thing. I'm not for trying to burn this thing down. If somebody wants it, I think there's a lot of playability in it. I think it's a pretty cool set. I think this is something that they probably could make it, but it wouldn't be so extraordinary, because I heard it's like a lot of LED lights. I don't know how many was in there, but it's gonna be lit up to make this thing really look like the Nitro set, and I think it's cool. All right, so for this week on Hot Topics or Rants, I got a couple of things I'm gonna go over, and I'm actually piggybacking off what I've seen this week, because it almost seems like the action figure community speaks to each other telepathically. For a minute, politics was floating around for a couple of weeks. Everybody's saying politics of it, which it's all true stuff. Now clearance is floating around, so we're all kind of much stay on the same page if you're into it. But hot topic or rant is, should you wait on clearance? And I kind of almost answered this before in community, and yes, I do think you need to wait on clearance. I don't think you need to have FOMO with clearance. Just like on Nerdzoic's episode, there will be some things come up when this shit starts to turn on some companies. Because some companies like Motu, Who else gets a lot of stuff? Wrestling figures, which that's always happens. But just there's some companies that they're known for going to clearance, and that's where you pick them up. Marvel Legends, things of that nature, or lines. And that's going to happen. It happened before. I remember at one time in like 2017, things of that nature, like I could go to Walgreens and almost guaranteed to get a sale on Marvel Legends for $13, $12. This is around the time like they had the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave and a little bit of waves before that. I mean, you used to find sales. Then it got to 2020, 21. I'm like, you can't really find nothing out here. So you should always look for a clearance. There always will be a clearance. Toy industry will never shut down because they always see some way to make a dollar. They either get their act right, start providing more and giving more to people, or they'll do something. They'll make a subsidiary line, and at one point they're trying to kill that out because Star Wars vintage collecting, being that I don't collect Star Wars Black Series, I was like, you know what, I like vintage collection, I'm gonna drop down to that. They done brought the price up on some of those, so it is what it is. But there always will be a clearance. You should always still hunt for clearance. Don't just stop like, well, nah, I'm not gonna buy a clearance figure. And I seen that on G.I. Joe Elite, my Facebook group this week. A guy was like, just seen CoverGirl. Nah, I'm gonna wait on the clearance. And there's like 20 people that jumped on his ass about that, man. I'm like, yo, let that man wait on the clearance, man. Like, if he don't want to pay full price, let him wait. And CoverGirl probably will go on clearance. That way, he probably will go on clearance. I'm almost guaranteed that. But, you know, man, people live your life. Me, I'm always going to wait on the clearance. Things I want, I go die for them, I go get them. But other than that, like 80, 90% of my figures are on clearance. Only thing I really have pre-order is Mayfax stuff, which you ain't gonna never find that on clearance. And just other little things that I like. But you need to apply that to your own situation, your own collection. But there'll always be a clearance. Just like Kyle Peterson said, you gotta get a deal. And that's real. I'll be coming across some amazing deals when I just simply wait. And plus, I'm in a different space in my collection where I don't need to get a bunch of stuff. You know, I can wait on stuff. I can wait on stuff, and I'm totally satisfied with that. Next up on Hot Topics or Rants, let's talk about, am I done with HasLabs? The answer is no. I'm not done with HasLabs, and I never had a problem with them. I think it's a pretty cool concept. Either you want it or you don't want it. And I hate when they put figures in there, piggybacking off another thing like Papa Punk on that WCW Nitro set. Like they threw him in there, and you need to put him out of regular release so I can get him. I hate when they do little stuff like that. But as far as HasLabs, I think they're cool. Crowdfunding, I think it's cool. If you want it, you want it. Don't get it, don't get it. But where I'm at with HasLabs now is like I'm almost satisfied and fulfilled. Just like Giant Man is handing out to come out this year for HasLab, but I think I'm good on that. Like I said, in my eyes, I already got 2 Giant Men. I got a Sentinel and I got a Galactus. Those are 2 giant little men that can stand up about 3 feet tall. So I really don't need that, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool. As far as going across lines, like I don't know, but like be honest with you, if the Engine of Vengeance, if I would have had that, but all these jumping across lines for HasLabs, like I'm fulfilled. I think now they might try. They're trying to kind of stretch things, and even with the WCW Nitro stage, that's a stretch. But it's not something like everybody like really needs to have that. But with a crowdfund, it is supposed to be a stretch. Like it's not something we're gonna make all the time. But I don't know. I just almost think I've gotten to a point where I've had my fill of them, but I'm not like upset with them or anything, or mad that I think I didn't get my money's worth, because each project I got from a HasLab was beautiful. And that's the only crowdfund I've supported. I've never done a Mattel Creations crowdfund or anything like that. But and probably the only ones I probably will pick up is a classified, or if they do a really good vintage retro line one. But other than that, that's it. I think I'm good on the Marvel stuff. Like if I could just think of a HasLab, a Sentinel, or a Galactus is really the only thing I can think of that is really warranted to me. I know one time they were talking about like they're possibly doing a Quinjet and stuff like that. Like I'm good. Like I could have brought that Spin Masters bat wing. Like I'm good. I don't want that. I don't want that. I'm fine. I'm fine on that. So I guess, I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but HasLabs, you almost kind of like worn out with this shit, you know, by now, because there's so much controversy around it. And then it's like, will they pick the right thing for you? So I don't know. That's just the way I feel on that topic, to be honest with you. And then and we keep piggybacking, we keep jumping off horses, going to different horses, but the Ramen Racer, I haven't really talked about it, and like I said, I did like the Engine of Vengeance. Was it overpriced? Yes, but this Ramen Racer is just right at it at 175. I heard that from the beginning. I heard it from of course, Articulated Ninja did a video on it. Boog has said it in his things too, that it was 175 for the early supporter by May 9th, and that orange one is sick, yo. I mean, I highly doubt I'm gonna get a Dukes of Hazzard decal, because I ain't even gonna get on that level. But that orange, like Charger looking, that's dope. That's right up my alley. Like, that's something I can rock with in real life. And I think I might give it a spin. I gotta see how things are. And be honest with you, you got so wore out between that, looking at that stuff with this car stuff, like you really don't even care no more. And be quite honest with you, like, I really want to dive into my Jada diecast collection a little bit more harder. I got maybe like 15 cars now. I want like 100. You know what I'm saying? So I might just dive into that. So I don't know. Depending on how my money looking by the time May 9th comes around, but I definitely would support that. That is tough. You know, I've been looking at it for the past couple of weeks now, and it's a good offer, and it's a good car. It's just, do you have room? Do you have time? Or do you even care anymore about it, man? But yes, Ramen Racer, I think it's A-okay. All right, last but not least, we got toy news, toy talk. I don't do the usual rendition of just going through and what's the latest, greatest thing on toys and what's coming out. I just give my little perspective on toys I'm interested in, and I always try to hit you with a little bit of clearance items. Like I said, it might be old to a lot and new to some, man. Maybe somebody's out there looking for a figure and didn't know it was out there for the cheap and was about to pay like full price in Walmart, and it might be laying up somewhere for like $9. Okay, so basically on toy news, I'm all in on the NECA gargoyles. I've been debating on should I go all in on this line for the past year and a half, man, and I think I am. I gotta have Bronx, Brooklyn, Hudson. I already got Goliath. I've been had him. He was actually one of the first videos I ever done on this channel. And who is that? I think I went over everybody, but it's like the 5 core ones. Now getting to like Thaylog and the girl and all that, and the girl gargoyles, I might get those, but I gotta get those 5. I believe it's 5 of them, 5 core characters. I definitely got it, and I'm all in on them. I'm ready to go. Entertainment Earth, they're like $37. If you go to Big Bad Toy Store, they're like $41. So I'm going with Entertainment Earth on that. And yes, I'm all in on gargoyles. Also, I dropped Doc Ock and Aunt May. I did a video about a month and a half ago when the Marvel Legends team did their announcement. They had like a live stream, and they gave us all these pretty cool new things that they've been dropping for the past couple of weeks now, or a month and a half. And I said I ordered Doc Ock and Aunt May, but I dropped Doc Ock and Aunt May. I can wait on that. I can wait on that. Maybe they'll have like a warehouse sale or something. If I get it, I don't. I'm actually pretty cool with the Doc Ock I got with the fixed tentacles. What I do want is that Green Goblin and Mary Jane. Same old Green Goblin they usually put out. I don't have a lot of Green Goblins, and I would advise somebody to get that because there's not a lot of Green Goblins out, and he actually looks pretty good. He has pins in his arm and legs, but I don't care about that. I mean, it's a toy, to be honest with you. But the unmatched head looks good, and Mary Jane looks pretty good too. So I think I would, because I'm limiting myself on what I get, so I dropped Doc Ock and Aunt May, and I think I'm gonna go with Green Goblin and Mary Jane. I think that's a pretty good looking set. Also, people are still looking for Fei Long and Ryu. If you've seen Fei Long and Ryu, can you please tell them to report to the principal's office? Fei Long and Ryu, where are you? I've been looking too. I can't find them. I can't find them. Hopefully soon. I got them on Big Bad Toy Store pre-ordered, but I want to find them live also too. I ain't even gonna front. And last but not least, some clearance. Big Bad Toy Store. I meant to do this last week. They've been doing some one-day sales, and I put it up on Facebook. They're showing the G.I. Joe for like 15 bucks. One day it was like Storm Shadow was $15, which is great. And Cobra Officer was $15. I think Spirit, Iron Knife. There was a lot of figures up there for like $15. Zaymont and Tomax, of course, they're getting cheaper and cheaper. They're gonna be like $6 a piece soon on some crazy shit. And I would probably buy like 10 more of them. I swear I would. But just take a look out on Big Bad Toy Store if you order online. Big Bad Toy Store is a pretty good company. It's pretty much my main company I do my pre-orders with. And look at their spring clearance sale. I got my eye on Q90 from Star Wars Black Series. That's actually a good figure. I always wanted to army build him. He's like $12.50 right now. So keep an eye out for that, man. So always keep an eye out for clearance, man. And I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. This is the Soapbox, my weekly commentary show. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, and check me out next week. Up this week on the channel, I've been so busy. I swear to God, like I slept almost for like the entire day today because I hadn't slept for like 2 or 3 days, man. I just be on the grind, man. But I was trying to get it, start putting it together this week. But 22 Alley Vipers. I got 35 Cobra Troops I'm going to open up. 22 Alley Vipers, 9 regular Vipers, 2 Crimson Guards, and I'm looking at them right here on the table. I got 2 orange and purple Halo Marine soldiers, and I got 2 blue ninjas that I'm all gonna open up at one time. So I got another massive army build coming up on the field, so you guys look out for that also. We do this for the love and beauty of action figures. Give your boy a like, comment, subscribe, and until the next time, God bless. Old to a lot, but it may be some to new.